Does an LTAC in the United States of America have a duty to provide ICU level care, i.e., follow sepsis protocols, wound care, monitoring, inotropes, vasopressors, dialysis for a ventilated and tracheostomy patient transferred from ICU to the LTAC? That's the question I'm going to answer today for one of our clients. My name is Patrick Hutzel from intensivecarehotline.com. And this is another quick tip for families in intensive care. So it's a great question. And it comes as part of a medical record review that we've done for this particular client. So the answer is yes, that LTACs, or known as long-term acute care hospitals in the United States, do have a duty to provide ICU level care when needed, especially for patients on ventilators or recovering from critical illnesses like sepsis or severe wounds. However, the problem here is that LTACs are not staffed like ICUs. And here is why. For example, when it comes to sepsis protocols, LTACs are required to follow hospital-level standards, including sepsis recognition and treatment bundles like early antibiotics, fluids, and monitoring. However, they often don't have the skill level, the knowledge, the staffing levels, etc. Wound care. LTACs usually have specialized wound care teams. They often do more aggressive wound management than actually regular hospitals because many patients have complex pressure ulcers or surgical wounds, which is also why patients from ICU are often being discharged too early to LTACs and they're bouncing back into ICU. Monitoring. LTACs can provide continuous vital sign monitoring for ventilated patients with tracheostomy, heart rate, blood pressure, oxygen levels. But nurse-to-patient ratios are usually much lower than in the ICU, meaning that one nurse might care for more patients at a time than in an ICU. ICU is usually 1-to-1, whereas in LTAC it can be 1-to-4. I've heard 1-to-5, sometimes 1-to-10 overnight. That's crazy. Next, ventilator management. LTACs are not experienced in managing tracheostomy and ventilated patients. They typically don't have respiratory therapists or ICU doctors on staff 24/7. When you look at LTAC's website, you will see the best marketing ever. You will read that they are the experts and specialists at weaning patients off the ventilation and tracheostomy. Well, have a look at actually Google reviews or any reviews you can find online from actual patients or families. You will find the contrary. Next, escalation of care. If a patient at an LTAC deteriorates, i.e. worsened sepsis, unstable vital signs, they must stabilize and transfer the patient back to an ICU if they can't safely manage it. And most of the time, they can't safely manage it. So in short, most of them can't provide the high level care that is needed for ventilated and tracheostomy patients when it comes to sepsis, wound care, dialysis, inotropes, vasopressors. And like I said, you will find that LTACs are not really equipped to take patients from ICU to LTAC. I've made a video a while ago in one of my YouTube live videos, where a video with the title, something along the lines of 10 reasons why LTACs in the US are a scam. And I stand by it because have a look at the online reviews. We've done medical record reviews. We've worked with clients in LTACs that have literally been begging us to help them get their loved ones out of LTAC. That's how bad it was. In the ideal world, they must recognize when a patient's condition exceeds their capabilities, but they don't really because, we often also see that patients that have gone from ICU to LTAC bounce back into ICU within less than 24, 48 hours because patients are being discharged way too early, right? So LTACs are not ideal for slow respiratory weaning that needs to happen in ICU and are not ideal for actively deteriorating patient. If a patient is still extremely unstable, which most patients on ventilation with tracheostomy are, and if they get new onset severe sepsis, they need to stay in ICU or need to get transferred back to an ICU as quickly as possible. So I hope that helps everyone understand why patients should stay in ICU and not go to LTAC. ICUs are well equipped to wean patients of ventilation with tracheostomies, whereas LTACs simply are not. Now, I have worked in critical care nursing for over 25 years in 3 different countries, where I worked as a nurse manager for over 5 years in intensive care. And I've been consulting and advocating for families in intensive care since 2013 here at intensivecarehotline.com. We've been consulting and advocating for families all over the world. And I can very confidently say that we have saved many lives with our consulting and advocacy, including avoiding transfers from ICU to LTAC with our consulting and advocacy. And you can verify that on our intensivecarehotline.com testimonials section, or you can verify it on our intensivecarehotline.com podcast section, where we've done client interviews. Because our advice is absolutely life-changing, and it's positively life-changing. Like I said, we've helped many clients to save their loved ones' lives. We have many clients in the US to let their loved ones stay where they belong, which is often ICU, and not go to an LTAC prematurely, right? And you can join a growing number of members and clients that we have helped over the years to improve their lives instantly, making sure they make informed decisions, have peace of mind, control, power, and influence, making sure the loved ones get best care and treatment always. That's why I do one-on-one consulting and advocacy over the phone, Zoom, Skype, WhatsApp, whichever medium works best for you. And I talk to you and your families directly. I talk to doctors and nurses directly as well. I handhold you through this once-in-a-lifetime situation that you simply can't afford to get wrong. I also, when I talk to doctors and nurses directly, I ask all the questions that you haven't even considered asking, but must be asked when you have a loved one critically ill in intensive care. I also represent you in family meetings with intensive care teams. We also do medical record reviews in real time so that you can get a second opinion in real time. We also do medical record reviews after intensive care if you have unanswered questions, if you need closure, or if you are suspecting medical negligence. We also have a membership for families of critically ill patients in intensive care, and you can become a member if you go to intensivecarehotline.com. If you click on the membership link, or if you go to intensivecaresupport.org directly, in the membership you have access to me and my team 24 hours a day in the membership area and via email, and we answer all questions intensive care related. In the membership, you also have exclusive access to 21 ebooks and 21 videos that are exclusively available only for our members, and I have written and recorded the videos myself. Now, and all of that you get at intensivecarehotline.com. Call us on one of the numbers on the top of our website, or simply send us an email to support@intensivecarehotline.com with your questions. And if you like my videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel for regular updates for families in intensive care. Click the like button, click the notification bell, share the video with your friends and families, and comment below what you want to see next, what questions and insights you have from this video. I also do a weekly YouTube live where I answer your questions live on a show, and you will get notification for the YouTube live if you are a subscriber to my email newsletter at intensivecarehotline.com, or if you are a subscriber to my YouTube channel here. Thank you so much for watching. This is Patrick Hutzel from intensivecarehotline.com, and I will talk to you in a few days. Take care.